Hello punters and welcome to another football edition of the Spruikers. Jake is away sunning himself in Thailand somewhere, so the lucky bastard. But I've stepped in and I'm again joined by Michael Sharkie.
Yes, Nat. Momentous day for Australia today.
It's a historic day, isn't it?
Julia Gillard kicking out Kevin Rudd and you kicking out Jake.
Exactly. We thought we'd do it in honour.
Yeah, I'd just like to say that I supported Nat's move for power this whole time, and at no stage did I support the vote for Jay Norton, so I just want to make that clear.
That's the right idea there. Now, before we get our or sink our teeth into round 13, second half of the split round, let's see what's making news today. Clubs that lose top echelon players to the Gold Coast or Greater Western Sydney will be compensated with 2 first-round draft picks under the AFL's compensation formula. This means if Gary Ablett chooses to join the Gold Coast, then Geelong will likely receive 2 first-round draft picks in return. Geelong Premiership stars Cameron Mooney and Matthew Scarlett are set to return for Friday night's grand final rematch against St Kilda, and Adelaide is likely to recall midfielder Bernie Vince and young defender Phil Davis for Sunday's game against Melbourne, while Collingwood skipper Nick Maxwell is still in doubt for the Pies' crucial clash with Sydney due to a calf injury. And that's what's making news today, Shark. Now let's move on to Friday night football at the MCG. St Kilda versus Geelong, the grand final rematch.
What a big game.
A massive game. Geelong at the moment sitting favourites $1.38 on Betfair and St Kilda $3.50s. How do you see this game playing out?
Well, Geelong probably worthy favourites at that price, I think, with those big names coming back into the side, and obviously a little bit of a tumultuous week for the Saints.
Bit of a distraction there.
Yeah, some off-field distractions, which we need not go into in this segment. But look, I think Geelong should have their measure. They did in the grand final last year on the biggest stage in football, and they should be able to get over them again this week.
I agree. I mean, Cam Mooney really coming back into the side will strengthen. The return of Scarlett down back will help them as well. Both teams looking a little different from the grand final teams from last year, obviously with Rewald out. Stephen Milne's stepped up, I guess, but he's got a poor record against Geelong. I think he's kicked only 10 goals in their last 8 games, so I'm not sure how he will go. Although they are forecasting rain tomorrow, so I'm not sure if that will even out things a little bit.
Who do you think is the key player for the Saints that could swing the game in their favour?
I really don't know. I mean, Zach Dawson's missing down back as well, so I don't know how the defenders are going to go down there. I think Brendan Goddard will be important. Midfielders as well, Lenny Hayes, Lee Montagna will really need to step up. But as we've said, Stephen Milne really has been that player to step up in past weeks. So if he can have a good game, then maybe the Saints are a chance.
Some sort of hope, yeah.
All right, looking at the next game, we've got Sydney and Collingwood on Saturday night at ANZ Stadium. It's weird, we've got no football in Melbourne over the weekend on Saturday and Sunday.
Well, everyone should go to the VFL.
That's
go
right.
and support state footy.
Will you be there?
No, I won't.
What about your local league?
Yeah, if you want to come watch the D2 amateurs, St Mary Solutions playing at home at Glen Iris, so come along.
I'll be there.
I won't be.
You won't be. Why aren't you playing?
I know, injured this week.
Okay, pansy. Sydney, $2.36. Collingwood, $1.72 here in this game. The Swans have a really poor record against the Pies. I don't think they've won or beaten them in the last 8 games. So I'm favouring the Pies here.
Yeah, and at $1.72, I think they're probably a good price.
Yeah,
I think,
good value
Sydney's
there.
probably in the market because they're at home, but Collingwood might have too many guns.
I agree. And looking at the final game, Adelaide and Melbourne, that's over in Adelaide at AAMI Stadium, that's on Sunday. Adelaide $1.65 there on Betfair and Melbourne $2.48. I'm a bit surprised by that. I think Melbourne are a bit of a chance.
Yeah, I don't know. I think after 2 really good games to round out this round, there's a bit of a fizzarooner on the cards there with Adelaide. Yeah, Adelaide and Melbourne. It could just turn into a nothing contest. But Adelaide at home, look, if they're not going to win this, then they're probably never going to win again, ever.
Oh, big call.
In the history of the world.
You heard it here first on the Spruikers. Massive call. Well, look, I think the Crows with that, well, Nathan Bock is in down and so is Scott Thompson. I think they'll be losing some experience there, and I think the D's will get that one. So D's for mine.
The Betfair
Big Spruik.
All right, Shark, what's your Betfair Big Spruik for the week?
I think we're going to go for an Oz multi this week, Nat.
A trusty Oz multi.
Yes, I've got a bit of a favourite of mine. I think we're going to play head-to-head Geelong into Collingwood, so that's about just over $3.
Wow, you just stole my spruik. So I'm going to go something different. I'm just going to put a whole heap of money, or what little money I have, on Melbourne at $2.48. I think the D's will really get up there.
Value.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of value. So that's our Betfair Big Spruiks for the week. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back again next week without Jake again. Thank God. And we'll see you then.